this. Gina's case has been pushed to February of next year because Disney hasn't turned in any of the paperwork they're supposed to, or any of the correspondence they're supposed to, all the stuff that they've been told.
What?
And they got an extension, evidently.
Shocked.
So yeah, Gina called them on their shit yesterday on the X. So check that out on her account. There's not much more to say than that, and just that they haven't been cooperating, and now it's been moved to February instead of September. So yeah.
Well, it's standard procedure.
Sure.
From lawyers to push, to delay.
It's all fair. Yeah, they know they've got a losing case, so let's put it off as long as we can.
Yep.
So I think it's good for her case. It's a good indicator for her case, but it just drags this thing out even longer. I predict they settle, don't you guys?
I'm not entirely certain that Disney is afraid of losing to her. I think what they're afraid of is, what is it when you open up the box? What's it called? Not exploration.
Schrodinger's cat?
No, it's it's basically we get to look
Gwyneth
at all your
Paltrow's head.
Discovery. No. Yes. No.
Discovery.
Yeah,
They're
Discovery.
Star Trek.
They're afraid of the discovery portion.
It's the Midnight's Edge legal team here.
Well,
They're the worst at this.
do you think Gina would even want to settle? I mean, the whole point of this is to sort of expose.
Well, discovery. I mean, that's
exactly.
No,
That's why
the
I
whole
think
point
Disney will
was-
want to settle. And if Elon Musk is, I mean, he's still got plenty of money. So
He's still footing the bill. Yeah, dragging this out for the lawyers' fees and everything else doesn't hurt Gina at all. So
yeah. But it's interesting.
Indeed.
It's interesting. It's not surprising.
So yeah, and then we got Grimzilla in the house. How you doing, Grim? And we're going to talk about the other two topics here soon, so hang tight. Grimzilla sends in 20 and says, a report on Devil May Cry Netflix anime. Demons are now good and now a metaphor for Arab migrants in the USA invading the demon realm like it's Iraq. Just for knowing that's not DMC at all, Netflix does it again.
My God.
Uh-huh.
I could
Netflix
believe it.
can't seem to do anything without injecting politics in it these days. I mean, anything, any of their new content. There's always some angle. It's really weird.
And isn't it amazing the contrast between when they actually adhere to the source material versus not? You've got something like Cowboy Bebop versus, I suddenly forget the thing that they with the pirates and the kids and everything running around. That show that One Piece, where you've got something that people, you actually indulge in what people liked about the thing to make it popular in the first place. And in other instances, you just say, to hell with it. We're going to put in our own agenda, our own subtext, and then it completely fails out. It's an amazing equation.
I like to recreationally believe that that's the creator or the IP controller just resisting all Netflix's over to make it more political. Yeah. I don't know that to be the case, but I'm sure some people are just so excited to have their IP getting exploited on Netflix.
I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that Netflix and Amazon picks people with the IP with an agenda. Because if you heard the person who was the showrunner for Wheel of Time, and the showrunner for Geralt of Rivia,
The Witcher.
They had nothing but bad things to say about the author and the property, and they had a vision for changing it. So maybe that was part of the pitch that got them the job. Hi, I hate The Witcher. Can I get the job? Yeah, good. Here, you can have this money. That could have been part of the pitch.
I think but that still aligns with sort of what I'm saying. The ones that they don't get that political bias injected in there is only because the property that Netflix somehow acquired has got somebody that's holding the line on some of that mess.
Yeah. I think in the case of One Piece, the original creator had a lot to say and had a lot of control over it, and that's really what made the difference. But yeah, it really depends who's signed what contract and who has gained the rights and control over it.
Even with One Piece, the showrunner has left over disagreements.
Because that's Netflix's showrunner.
Yeah, because they
kind of
wanted to rush through, I guess, and he's like, no.
rush through or maybe inject some of Netflix's politics. I feel like also when did it begin that we needed to start worrying about who the showrunner was on some of these things? You know, it's like when did that suddenly, oh man, who's the showrunner
Well,
on the
it's
$6
kinda
million
like the
man?
directors
We
now.
better, you know.
It's kind of like directors now, Chris, right? Like we don't have movie stars, so they cast directors. It's kind of the same thing with TV shows, right?
Mm.
We know more of Taylor Sheridan's shows than you could probably name of half the cast members of his shows outside of the big, movie
Kevin
stars.
Costner.
Yeah,
and,
basically Kevin Costner, Sylvester Stallone, Billy Bob Thornton,
Billy
Demi
Bob
Moore.
Thornton.
Yeah, Harrison Ford. Otherwise, I couldn't tell
Renner,
you the name.
Jeremy Renner. Yeah.
Yeah, otherwise I couldn't tell you the names of the rest of the cast
Yep.
most of the time.
The director and the star.
Yeah, the director and Sheridan being a showrunner is kind of the
And he's the
the
hierarchy.
selling point.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a Taylor Sheridan property.
But I think things are going to shift here. I've been hearing some things. I've been seeing some things. I think a lot of executives and people in that section are starting to worry.
Well, I think when you've got a combination of Phoebe Waller-Bridge and Leslie Headland and those names getting out there and not producing anything that's noteworthy.
Well, that being said, I guess Phoebe Waller-Bridge's Tomb Raider was killed, even though she got that first look deal over at Netflix. So yeah,
We did a little story on.
Deal? Yeah,
we did a little story on her yesterday on that first look deal and how much money she's made off of Amazon MGM since she hasn't produced anything over there. But we discovered that she actually has accomplished something over there. It comes out next month.
Uh-oh.
She's the narrator on a documentary called Octopus. It's a 2-part documentary that she's narrating. That is the only thing she's gotten done at Amazon since she had that.
Man,
deal.
$100 million to talk for a while. Nice work if you can get
Most
it.
expensive voiceover narrator.
To understand
in the
how these deals work, and I'm sure Paul can say something about this. You get the deal, but you don't get all that money up front. You get a nice little payday, but then the money comes in for the projects that you bring in, is my understanding. You don't get like a fat $100 million payday right up front, right?
I
Paul?
thought she was given $20 million a year.
Yeah, it's something like it's divvied out amongst
Well,
either the projects or by year.
Well, that kind of stuff, and I don't know what the streaming deals are, but in the past it was an advance against earnings.
A recoupable advance?
Yes.
See, that's like the music industry then.
But the problem is when you had, what's the Rhymes woman, the showrunner? Anyways, so what happens is that if you end the deal, they get to keep the money. There's no clawback.
So Amazon pulling the plug on Tomb Raider.
She gets to keep the money.
Mm-hmm.
Unless they renegotiated the deal, and that's why she got a new first look deal or whatever it was.
She hasn't sat around for 5 years and only earned money off the Indiana Jones movie and her consultation on No Time to Die.
Part of the issue too is that the studios are so afraid of letting talent go, however they perceive the talent. I'm not going to get into that. Is that they're handing cash out just to keep them on a short leash, so they don't go someplace else.
Yeah.
And make a hit. That's really what they're most afraid of. So they're throwing money around, and Phoebe gets to eat at the finest places.
I wasn't that impressed with Fleabag.
No,
it's
neither was myself and my wife. We went, okay, that's it. This is a dystopian human experience. I don't need it.
It kind of had. I did enjoy, not as exactly similar, but did anybody ever watch that show Poker Face that Ryan Johnson produced for?
No,
I think that might have been Apple.
No, didn't see that.
I can't remember the girl's name, but she's got this gravelly voice, like a Stevie Nicks. She's got red hair. She's not very attractive, but it's funny and it's good. It's a good show, and it's not necessarily dystopian, but
Natasha Lyonne.
That's her. Yeah. Who's fun to look at, but she's nothing to look at, if that makes sense. And the show was great. It was really a great show. It made me think, wow, Ryan Johnson can entertain when he wants to.
No, he has his moments, especially with his detective shows.
That's right. And that's kind of what this is, except it's got a slight paranormal trick to it. It's called Poker Face because she can tell when somebody's lying. She has sort of this sixth sense where she can tell when someone's lying. So the guy in Vegas wants her to come work for him and use hidden cameras so that he can tell when people are bluffing or whatever. And that goes sideways. And there's a killing every week that she has to somehow winds up being involved or tangential to it and can solve the mystery or whatever because she can tell.
It's like Murder, She Wrote.
It is, except there's that magical element. It's fun. It's funny. And
are you saying that Angela Lansbury isn't magical?
Well, it depends on which
Dead
movie.
Knobs and Broomsticks.
Dead Knobs and Broomsticks.
Exactly. Good call, guys.
Exactly.
She's like a secondary Miss Mary Poppins.
But it sounds like they're doing a rinse and repeat thing, which is what I've been suggesting that the streamers get back into.
Yeah,
It's
little cold check action. Sure.
Well,
Monster of the
that's
week,
the
let's
next
do it.
thing. That's the next thing I was reading here recently, Paul, is that Sheridan, and speaking of streaming, Taylor Sheridan's butting heads with Paramount over receding streaming budgets. So I think they're all going to start cutting back here in the next year, is what my hunch is.
I guarantee you.
It's just like moving an aircraft carrier, that's already on its way. So it just takes forever for them to figure it out, that we're going the wrong way.
Well, this was stupid of them. This was stupid of them to treat we've said this a million times, right?
Yeah.
Because when these shows have budgets that are bigger than movies, and that's never been the way television has worked before outside of prestige television.
Yeah.
And 9 times out of 10, that was what killed a lot of those shows like Deadwood, where it wasn't that it didn't have an audience. It had an audience. They just couldn't justify the cost of the show compared to the audience. It just wasn't enough.
Yeah.
So you're doing the same thing now with streaming, only 1,200 times over with every show. And it's like, how is this ever going to work? It never was. But anyway, I'm sorry to hear about Devil May Cry, Grimzilla, and curious to see how One Piece turns out this second season. Dark King sends in 2 Australian and says, prediction, Disney has snow chance in hell this weekend. Not really. Yeah, I doubt they have any chance at all. And we're going to get into that. In fact, let's do a few more super chats and we'll get back into that. Patrick Robinson says, with Scary Movie coming back and Naked Gun, do you think parody movies will come back and we'll get less woke movies? The latter, yes. I don't know about the first part. It depends on if this and Scary Movie do well, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you got to buttress it with plain old romantic comedies.
We need the standard comedy back.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, you know what? It's too bad the Jennifer Lawrence movie didn't work because I give her full credit. That was just a badly written movie, but that could have been brilliant. That movie where she was hired to deflower.
Oh yeah, I know the one you're talking about. And I can't think of the name of it.
And I give her full credit for, really going for it because it didn't really make her look good. But I think the movie probably scared her away, although she got a good payday for it. But she's a very talented comedian, and I perhaps she's not going to dip her toe into that water again. But that movie could have been so. The writing in it could have been so much better. Now, on the other hand, I'm constantly, for me, my reviews, I want to talk about what are the potential influences that studios and executives have on the movie. What we look at is a result of many fingers in many pies, right? That's the problem. Is who made what decision, which is, I when I did my Minecraft review, that's really how everyone's doing reviews of stuff, so I'm trying to do something a little bit different, and for me it's where's the influence, who made what decision, why did they make that decision? Because some executive in for instance Minecraft, we're going to talk about it, someone said Super Mario plus Jumanji. I guarantee you, now who made that pitch? I don't know, but I guarantee you someone in a room somewhere said Super Mario Brothers and Jumanji. And in the case of the Jennifer Lawrence movie, someone mashed up two titles together, sold it, and then it was done. But
Yeah.
I would like to see more movies like that.
That's why you would like Entourage, Paul. You should go back.
Yeah,
and
it's not on a channel that I get.
I understand.
Oh, it's a great show.
As far as the parody movies go, and the question in the chat there, do you think? I mean, I think one of the things that'll lead to the end of wokeness, so to speak, in Hollywood is if the parody movies are allowed to actually send up that stuff. Do you think the studios at this point are brave and or self-reflective enough to allow that kind of thing to be
it makes
included?
money. Yeah,
Okay.
I think they'll do it.
Well, and Naked Gun kind of gives me a good feeling because watching that, there's a few things in that trailer
Absolutely.
even
Yeah.
that they wouldn't have been able to do in the last few years. So I mean, we can talk about that, I guess, up front.
I like.
I
that.
like
But
the question about the parody movies, though. Even Leslie Nielsen and Zucker did a superhero movie, I think it was called, back in 2008, which was kind of a dull. But you don't even have to do parodies like when Blazing Saddles came out. I guess that was a Western parody, but it's really a parody of Hollywood genre movies.
Of a
Well,
genre.
that's the way Mel Brooks always did it, unless it was more specific, like Young Frankenstein. All of his movies are kind
But
of like,
we're missing
yeah,
without the Neil Simon stuff,
Yeah.
without The Apartment,
right.
without
Or even like the Bad News Bears type stuff. And
Bad
other
News.
kind of
Perfect
comedies.
example. Terrific example. Bad News Bears, A League of Their Own. We need those.
Odd Couple, that kind
Yes.
of stuff. Yeah.
Oh, that's a Neil Simon, of course.
Sure.
But, and also, what's the movie with where the two guys dress up as women to get away from the mob?
Some Like It Hot.
Like It Hot. I mean,
Yeah.
we need stuff like that in between the parody movies.
That's right.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I was going to say Nuns on the Run, but my bad.
Well, and it
Yeah,
can
no.
be comedies based in genres. You could do a John Wick sort of send up movie.
Well, the problem is, and we talked about this the other night. Sorry, Chris. I just want to say,
No, you're
like,
fine.
like basically the biggest problem is the real world has become the parody now, right? Like just one of the guys is the real world. We have women trying to be men and men trying to be women. Those used to be a genre of comedy.
Yeah.
Sorry, you were about to say something else, Chris.
No, I mean you make a perfect point. I think that it's going to be very difficult these days to do comedy without somebody, whether it's the showrunner, the producer, the studio, or whatever, having some check boxes that they're going to have to tick off. We don't need another political comedy. We don't need to poke fun at Trump. You can do that in light jest, just like you've always done to presidents, but it doesn't need to be the focus of the movie. Neither does gender, politics, or anything else. Let's just have fun and laugh at stuff again.
Yeah, and
what I
the thing is, we won't get back to it until we get like the Carry On gang. Do you remember Carry On movies? Carry On Up the Khyber.
they weren't very big here, but yeah.
No, they
I know
weren't
what you're
big
talking-
here, but comedy, people just seem to have forgotten what an industry comedy was.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
And it feels like the movies that sort of break away from the politics are sometimes a little too acerbic, if you know what I mean, like a Ricky
What do you mean?
Gervais. He's just a little too, I don't know, angry and cynical.
Who?
Like a Ricky Gervais, for instance.
Oh, I see.
I think it just needs to be. It can be not necessarily clean fun, but it can just be funny. Like what was the trips to Vegas? I can't remember. It was 3. They did. It was a 3.
you're talking about the Hangover movies?
Yeah, the Hangover movie. Like the
There was
first
technically
Hangover
4
movie.
of them. The first one was called Dude, Where's My Car? But yeah.
But those kinds of movies, those can be just. Let's get more of those and don't try to inject anything in it. Let's just-
Does anyone here remember The Mouse That Roared?
You mentioned this, I think, last time.
Mouse on the Moon.
Yes.
And then The Mouse on the Moon was just, it was political, but it was making fun of the Soviets and the Americans and their race to the moon.
Mm-hmm.
And just, and I won't get into the plot of that, but it was a gentle comedy with no swearing. And
Well,
and there are subjects out there that I think can be treated in a wry way, but wry is not something that people are good at anymore.
Well, like
Well,
Bananas. Remember the old Woody
Yes.
Allen movie Bananas?
Bananas was great.
I mean,
And
that was
Sleeper.
that was a political movie.
Yep, it was. And Sleeper, not so much,
No,
but
Well,
Duck Soup. I mean, we can go back all the way to the
Oh, yeah.
classics if we have to.
Well,
Yeah.
speaking of like the thing with Naked Gun though, because watching this trailer, I was kind of impressed of some of the things I did see. Like the OJ joke really made me laugh.
That was
and I
fun.
heard you laugh too, Paul.
that was
And I love
great.
this whole like idea of they're all sons of people from the original
Yes.
movie and show. And that's why I said the biggest mistake here is it should be called Son of the Naked
Yeah,
Gun.
I agree with you.
But otherwise, and that's also because you had agreed with me before the show. Like I'm sick of these sequels that have the same title as one of the original films because it gets confusing.
Yeah,
Even Shaft did that. It's basically the same thing as this movie. And it's
exactly.
like, yeah, it shouldn't be called Shaft. Should be called Son
Maybe
of
they'll
Shaft.
poke fun at that in the movie.
Maybe, and I think that's going to be a big kind of point of the film, and that'll be one of the running gags.
Sure.
And that's, and there. Speaking of you were talking about kind of how like a little bit more raunchy comedy, Paul. We got to remember the first films of these were PG-13 rated, based on a television show. I do got to admit, and some people have pointed out, as funny as this trailer is, this one looks like it's taking it over the R-rated edge. I don't know if you guys saw that or not.
Which is why they should, apart from your title change, they should change the title. It should be, the completely Naked Gun.
or something like. Yeah, well, Son of the Naked Gun works because you got Son of the Gun, plus it works
Yeah,
for
I like
Son
that.
of the Pink Panther
Yeah,
and all that kind of stuff. And
I
they're
agree.
all children,
And they're all the children of those main characters, Kennedy and this. And
No,
this is Seth. This is Seth
McFarlane.
MacFarlane. So yeah, has a good
He's
chance.
the producer, yeah, and then the director. I can't remember his name. It's like I can't pronounce.
It should be called The Naked Sun. There you go. See, I can do a variant too.
Naked Sun. That works
There
too.
you
There you
That's
go.
good.
Yeah. But here's the
Naked
thing.
Sun
Okay,
works,
can it now, as is sort of implied in the movie, big shoes to fill. Can Liam Neeson pull off? I mean, I'm trying to think of instances where Liam Neeson has been sending up himself, and I can only think of like a couple, like Million Ways to Die in the West. He showed up for about 5
Did
minutes.
you see the Ricky Gervais show where he was on there?
No,
No,
Oh my gosh, you serious?
well,
talking
occasionally.
about extras.
I think it was on Extras. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I did not see that. So, but not having seen this,
was a
can,
Life's
can
Too
he
Short,
can he
that's what it was
match
on.
Leslie Nielsen for dry deadpan?
I think so.
Oh yeah, I'll show you this. Hang on.
All right.
I'm waiting for a stupid ad. And Andre, I apologize. You're gonna have to clip this out later.
I can absolutely in my bones feel it.
This is a great. This shows. If you have any doubt that Liam Neeson can do comedy, this should put all that aside.
It's a great show too.
Come in.
Work with him.
Okay, but you've got to go though. Sorry, guys.
I could just.
There he is. Hello. Hi. That's Warwick. He's just going then.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we actually worked together on Star Wars: The Phantom Menace.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, we had a scene together. It was Cutler. Do you remember?
Okay. Thanks for saying that. I'm here because I'm thinking of doing some comedy.
Wow.
I'm a funny guy, aren't I? I'm funny, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Here's some of the stuff I'd like to work on. Improv, stand-up comedy, funny monologues, crazy characters, sketches. Yeah, you notice this list, huh? I'm always making lists.
All right.
In fact, that's probably why Steven Spielberg cast me as Oscar Schindler, Schindler's List. Steven, I make lists all the time. And he said that's exactly what I'm looking for. What's funny?
Sorry, I thought you were joking about getting the part of Oscar Schindler because you made lists.
No. As an actor, you need stuff to draw on. And I drew on that. Okay, let's do some improvisational comedy.
I can't now, Liam. It's
Bad time. Let's do some improvisational comedy.
Okay.
Knock, knock.
Come in.
Hello.
Oh no, not you again.
I've never been here before.
Sorry, I thought because you're a hypochondriac, you would have been to the doctors before.
Don't presume. That's a backstory we didn't agree on beforehand.
No. That's improv, though, isn't it? You sort of go with the flow.
I don't take notes.
Okay.
Can we go again because you ruined that?
Sorry.
Can we do it because you ruined that?
Come in.
Hey,
Hi, how's it going? What seems to be the problem?
I've contracted AIDS
How did you get that?
from an African prostitute.
There's more to it, but like he said, if you have any doubt that Liam Neeson can play straight comedy, there you go.
Oh my God. Well done.
All right.
But he's also a UK, people in the UK are generally naturally funny.
Yeah, and he has to do it deadpan
Yeah.
because that's the whole point, right? Because we were talking about this last night as well, because I love the original Police Squad show. But one issue I have with the movies is it's kind of like the Brady Bunch movies. It feels like they took the cast of The Naked Gun in their world, plucked them out, and put them in our world, right? It's like, no, in the show, they're all in the same world, right? Like they all are idiots, right? Like they all have the same kind of conversations. They all do the same kind of things. In the movies, everybody's reacting to Leslie Nielsen's stupidity all the time, right? Like they're in the real world, like they're like vicariously living through the audience. And that was my big issue with that. I'm like, they got to take it back to what the original show was, where you have the world is itself, right? Like the greatest example of that is the freeze frame endings when the bad guy tries to get away, but he can't get out because he's stuck in the TV, right? Like he gets to the edge of the TV and he can't get out, right? Exactly. Like those kind of things, that's what made the Police Squad for me work. And the movie always came off as like a greatest hits record with re-recorded songs.
Well, and
Does that make sense?
He did become a bit more Clouseau in the movies.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a good
But
example.
he was
Yeah.
he was still funny. I mean, the Airplane was the gold standard.
Exactly. They all lived like they
America.
lived in the same world as Airplane. That's what I meant. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
and if this is more like Airplane, then I think it'll be better than the silly Naked Gun movies. Although there were moments where I was just howling with laughter. But
Well,
you have
if McFarlane embraces that material, which I think that he probably does.
oh yeah, I think he knows his shit.
Yeah, this will be funny.
As long as he's not in it, I think we're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well-
or writing it.
Well, Script and I
directing
were
it.
going through a bunch of stuff that you can already make jokes about, like the idea of when was he born? Because he's only like 10 years younger than Liam Neeson. And like, or 20 years at tops, but like when was he born in the movies? Because he would technically only be, if like it was like Priscilla's son, he
Yeah.
would only be like 20 or 30 something years old or whatever. 40
Now-
maybe tops.
Facts ruin comedy. Tom.
Yes.
I keep
But
telling
that's the
you
thing
that.
is you can play into that joke, right?
or you just ignore it,
He was born old.
or you just ignore it. Move on.
Yeah. But I think they should also like, because I think they actually do address how they had a different actor play what's his face from the TV show to the movie, his boss. I just forgot his name.
Oh, and Kennedy.
George
yeah,
Kennedy.
yeah, Kennedy played him. Yeah, but he didn't play him in the show. It was
Right.
originally the other guy, and I think they actually have him on the wall along with Kennedy. So like, I think they're going to address some of that stuff. So it'll be interesting to see what they actually pull out with this one. I'm kind of curious to see what it is. I know it's been getting mixed reactions, but mostly positive. So it seems like the audio that we enjoyed here, but we'll see what you guys think.
Yeah.
Let us know.
Will the kids go see it? Who knows?
Yeah, that's a good question. All right, let's move into some other stuff here. Whoops. We had Dr. Longdongler send in £1.99 to remind you to pound that like button if you haven't already. Then Grimzilla says, I'm just tired of Netflix and Western studios pushing the humanity is evil crap when we get some demons' lives don't matter, like Firin said. Yeah, I mean, this new idea that humanity is all a bad thing and only bad is a new
Or that
modern
morality is simply gray. There's never any
Yeah.
black. There's never like good or bad. It's just like, oh well, the dark side isn't all dark. There's two sides to every story. Like, no, just make
Yeah,
good
the
guys good and
Maleficent
bad guys
crap.
bad. Yeah.
Yeah, like Maleficent's one thing, but then when they tried doing that with Cruella, I'm like, you can't make her good. There's just no way. She kills puppies for no good fucking reason.
Mm-hmm.
None. Like she doesn't have a motivation other than she wants a weird coat.
Yep.
And then they tried to change that shit too. It's like, no, that takes away the whole point of how she's evil or why she's evil. Hyperguyver 2 says the truth hurts, sure not as much as jumping into a bicycle with a seat missing, but it hurts. Paul knows what that's like.
Oh yeah.
Hey.
Lieutenant Frank Drebin, great quote.
Just for the just for the laughs.
Yeah, a few stitches, that's all. Mark Field says positive vibes to you all. Well, thank you, Mark.
Thanks, Mark.
It looks like you got a parrot on your shoulder there. That's cool.
Mark's a pirate.
He's a pirate. Arr. And then Mark Field says, I like the retro futuristic look of the robots in the new Superman preview. Well, we're going to talk about that. Oh, balls. Sounds like Paul's going to vomit. Flying blind on a rocket cycle makes it rain some gifted memberships, 5 of them. Well, thank you for that. Kenneth LaRock says, hello, everyone. Hello, Kenneth. Been a tick since I've seen you in the chat. That or I missed you. STR Red Wolf sends in 5 and says, latest Naked Gun movie teaser looked very interesting. It got some vibes as the originals, callbacks to them, and even recognizes OJ's mess. Yeah, that was the best joke. Yeah. I just hope that's not the best joke in the movie.
Me too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if that's the case, then it's all downhill from there.
Yeah.
Oh, the amount of jokes that you have to have in a movie like that is quite extraordinary. But I think
who's going to have a tough time is Nordberg's son or whoever that character is, dragging that out for the entire show.
Yeah.
That's going to be interesting to see how they play that.
Actually, the funny thing would be every funny thing that happened to OJ, like getting shot, wrapped up in a bandage, put in a wheelchair, sent down a flight of stairs, flung into the football field. If every single one of those things happened to him, I will be howling with laughter.
You think it'd be too much that he has like a short temper and everybody thinks he's going to kill somebody?
No, that's not. But that's not Norberg. Norberg did.
I know it's not Norberg, but because of what happened to his father, that's why he acts now. No, I know, I get it. It'd be.
Now, that would not be funny.
No. Dark King says Liam Neeson in The Naked Gun. I have a certain set of skills, none of which are applicable to my actual job of being a police officer.
Yeah.
Oh, he seemed to use them in the trailer there. Slash 11111 sends an 11.99 euros and says, I think it'd be actually 12 euros. Also, the problem with the parody movies comes back to that creatives got to get back at writing clever stuff and not just doing references to pop culture like those terrible date or epic movies. Yes, that's what actually killed this franchise.
Yeah.
Or this genre, not
I
franchise.
blame the Wayans brothers.
It wasn't even just them. It was whoever it was that took over and did the We're the Spartans and the Not Another Date movie and not another this movie. Because that's all those are.
Yeah.
They're just endless references.
You can watch the Naked Gun movies from the 80s and 90s or whatever, and they're still funny because most, not all, but most of the references are not dated and tied to a particular time or place. Right. It's just situational and clever writing. And so if they go the route of just constantly making pop culture references, it'll get tired and old real quick.
Do you know what the Three Stooges never had? Pop culture references.
Yeah.
You can still watch Three Stooges, and most of them you can understand. There's a few things they might do that are out of date now, but
like getting a big giant piece of ice for their
exactly. That's my point. Thank you, Chris. Like outside of those sort of things, they don't sit there and make a bunch of references to like modern stars and
good, clean slapstick.
Yeah, good, clean, beating the hell out of each other.
That's right.
Speaking of beating the hell out of each other, we were curious what the hell beat the hell out of Superman here in this opening scene that we got a extended preview for, which also is being showed before Minecraft in some places, which Paul saw. So we're going to get to both of those topics. We're going to start with Soups. So it seems that I'm probably the only one on the panel who thought that this didn't look wretched. I only have a few problems with it, but I'm not going to bury the lead here. It sounds like everybody else was not too keen on what they saw here. So let's start with you, Scribe.
Well, I think we kind of alluded to it before the show, but I was kind of put off immediately by Crypto hurting his owner. Because it made me feel as though Crypto was kind of a sociopath. He's like, oh, here's my owner, here's my friend, lying on the ground, bleeding and hurt, obviously. Yeah, and I'm just gonna see. I understand dogs sometimes.
I guess this is actually based on a real incident that James Gunn had happen. I
don't know. That may be so, but it made me feel like something's off here. Crypto's smarter than that, purportedly, and
I
just
don't know.
dogs
Do you
in
have a big
general.
dog?
Do I have a big dog? No.
Yeah. Okay.
Do
well,
big
then I'll
do
tell
big
you.
dogs jump on their injured and bleeding
Yes.
owners often?
Yes. Well, Sadie doesn't give a shit when I say, "Ouch! You're stepping on my balls." She don't care. Like she'll jump
Maybe,
up on.
maybe
me.
it's
She
because I'm a
don't give
cat
shit.
person or something. I just can't relate to this. But either way, I thought that kind of threw me off at first because I thought that was a little bit cruel. And was it going for a laugh? Because I didn't really feel like laughing at that point. I don't know.
Oh, we got Polly here as well. Hey, Polly.
Hey,
Happy Friday.
Just in time to
Hey.
talk some Superman.
Yeah, what's going on, fellas?
oh, we're just spending our lives.
Well, you're somebody who spends a lot of time with dogs. Do they pounce on you a lot?
Absolutely. I mean,
Well, here's the
literally-
problem: is they all think they're lap dogs. That's the first thing that's a problem.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. If they see their owner, loved one in pain, But yeah, yeah. So with Crypto, I got like he's a spunky one, right? And he's just so out of control, to where Superman's got to keep on him. But yeah, I had no problems. I really loved this. I thought it was great.
From what I've heard, Crypto's only in the movie for about 5 minutes, and this is one of the major scenes, I'm assuming. So yeah.
Well, at CinemaCon, when they played this, I believe there's another scene that they played right after, and there is a connection to Crypto and the bond, the owner dog bond as to how Superman heals up. It wasn't just this like Crypto had to. There's something that goes on with Crypto that makes the bond even stronger. Like there's a so that's what I had gotten from
Dog saliva, right? I
This
think
was
that's-
one of the
maybe it
only
was his licks. Yes.
Yeah, this is one of the only bits though that I felt like really James Gunn humor.
Yeah.
And the only other time I had problems was when the robots are like, "Well, you don't need to thank us. We wouldn't appreciate it anyway." And then the other robot turns right around and giggles because he looks at her. Like I'm like, okay, that doesn't compute. But other than that, I didn't have too many issues. But Paul, it sounded like you were just.
I thought this whole thing was dreadful, top to bottom.
Do you have a dinosaur on your shirt? Oh no, it's
basically yes.
Kind of, sort of. Gotcha.
Paul, did you just not like
Classic.
the aesthetic, or did you just not like the vibe?
Everything. So first of all,
So you're saying everything? I want to hear this.
Yeah,
Tell me
so-
I wanna hear this.
Crypto, as far as my past readings are concerned, I get the gag, but it's only funny if Superman is partially hurt and he's trying to get a word out edgewise, let's say. He almost looks mortally wounded.
Yeah.
He didn't make it to the Fortress of Solitude. We're going to find out later what kind of enemy could put him into this kind of condition. He's really bad. And Crypto's not a stupid dog in the comic books. He is somewhat sentient. He's not a dog in the comics. Superman can talk to him. He understands stuff. So to have him full on dog mode, this was not the right time or place, I thought, for it. Again, so far, we have not experienced a single heroic moment. And if the heroic moment had come from...
That's not true. That's not true at all. What are you talking about?
You haven't
He
seen-
goes into an explosion of all this shit just to save that little girl that was in the teaser. That was
I'm
back in
talking
this.
about this beginning.
Oh, okay. Because you're saying we
Sure.
haven't seen. Okay, sorry about that.
No. I'm talking
My
about...
bad.
Yes, sorry. I mean, I
agree
know
with
he
Shadow.
makes
It
the
probably would have served the film better had they shown a scene of him like saving a cat out of a tree or something like
Well,
that.
my point is, if the dog, what the hell? I can't remember his name suddenly. Crypto realized something was wrong, really serious, and that just went right to helping him, and he was heroic. I would have accepted that. That to me is part of the superhero Superman universe. Then we got these rejects from a Daft Punk concert.
Really quick before you go into them, you know the difference of comic book crypto and this crypto. You're saying you don't like the gun change to crypto.
No.
Okay, fair enough.
No. I mean, especially in this case, like I said, if Superman was lightly beaten up and then the crypto came and jumped all over him, and it was more like being at home and he's going, ow, oh, stop it, ow, ooh, crypto. That would be a great gag. This is, to me, Superman is in really rough shape, rougher shape than I've ever recall him. Oh, no, that's not true. I mean, we all know the Superman arcs, things like that, coming close to being destroyed. So then he goes into, his Fortress of Solitude, and he's got these Daft Punk looking robots. I don't like the look of the robots at all. I don't like the robot gag. Oh, who are you? I've not seen you before. What? So they're making fucking robots there? Someone is generating robots? And then they kind of lift them up with their little tentacle, their little praying mantis arms. They're not even beefy robots. And then they just sort of like put him in, and then get the yellow light on him. To me, now the other stuff where he's saving the girl and fighting the kaiju, that to me I didn't have a problem with, but I really didn't like this intro at all. And like, are they making? Like, he didn't know who the robot was, number 12, and there's a stupid robot joke, and I didn't.
Okay, let me reframe this just for a little, and I could be completely wrong, but let's say, I know it looks like he's in real bad shape, but let's say he's not as in bad shape as we think he is, and this is more like a day at the spa for Superman, getting rejuvenated. That's kind of what it really is, because he's getting the sunlight to heal.
Well, although like he's screaming when
he does, but that's because it's happening. It's because they intensify the sunlight to him.
Sure.
Well, yeah, but when he's on the ground, he's wheezing like he's got a lung punctured or something. It didn't sound like he was just, kind of beat up. It sounded like
he had some sort of like Kryptonian poison. Like he's probably fighting some sort of Kryptonian creature
or
something.
Right. Yeah, that's what I had gotten too, that this is not a day at the spa.
Obviously, it's
I mean, as far as like, I don't think he's in as mortal danger as we think he is, but he could be. I don't know. I could be wrong.
Yeah, Superman had to add all these, green kryptonite and red kryptonite and yellow kryptonite because he was invulnerable, and they went, "Oh crap, this is getting boring." So we got to give him something that will get something that'll hurt him.
And I get it. Like, even Daryl brings up here. I know he's in rough shape, but the whole point is he would heal eventually. He just wouldn't heal as fast as he would had they not intensified the sun. That's kind of my point. If he just laid there for about probably 10 hours, he probably would have been fine.
The thing is, if it's a spa, where's the Vietnamese women?
Yeah,
true. Giving you
maybe
a happy
that's the way the
ending.
robot should have looked, Paul. You would have liked it better. I kind of feel like James Gunn is hit or miss for me. It feels like he's trying to include some of his sort of fantastical visual aspects like he had in Guardians of the Galaxy, but I also think that there's sort of a dark side to James Gunn where he leans into body horror a little bit. Like, just the whole sequence of his dog jumping on him is hurting him. We don't want to see Superman being hurt. I mean, if you ever saw Slither, that's one of those body horror movies that was from James Gunn. So I think that that's an aesthetic that he occasionally leans into. So this is not going to be the Christopher Reeve, John Williams Superman movie that, I love, but I think it's going to be probably aesthetically better than Man of Steel. I know that's going to get me in trouble with the Snyder Bros.
And what's with this crying over a lost bot?
Especially bots that don't even recognize you, right? So I'm not sure. I think we're just being seen shadows and flashes of what's going on. We really don't have enough context to assess what we see here. Other than, do you believe Corn Sweat is Superman? Does it look good for you?
That's the thing I heard about. I was gonna say that's the thing I heard about CinemaCon that bothered me most. And I don't know, were you there, Paulie, or you just heard about it from your source? But
Well, no,
I
Rosa's
guess-
there.
yeah,
Rosa's
they spent like 20 minutes just basically sucking James Gunn's dick before they showed
Correct.
us
Oh,
it.
that sounds like pornography.
correct.
And I'm
So,
like,
Wait a
what
second.
the fuck are
Is
you
that in the
doing?
movie?
No,
So let me-
no,
yeah.
on the stage. Yeah.
let me add to that, and that's in our audio. So after every presentation, Rosa sent me an audio reaction, right, and then all the official images. She said this thing went on way too long. It was 40 minutes of them, and it's like, dude, you just killed any of the Superman momentum.
Mm.
Yes. And the chemistry is oozing with the leads and this and that, but for 40 minutes.
Wow.
Well, and that's what I was going to say is you should be selling this movie on Corn Sweat, right? Because first of all the videos I've seen of him being a nerd, they're charming as hell. You know, you got the one of him out in the car where he's doing the dialogue to the Star Wars soundtrack and all that kind of business. Those are the things you need to get out there, because one of the biggest problems you have right now is convincing this audience why they should care about this guy and not go, where's Henry Cavill?
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about the Snyder Bros even. I'm talking about the regular folk, right? Because the Snyder Bros are going to Snyder Bro,
Yep.
right? But you need to convince
Oh,
the
sorry about
audience
that.
no, you're fine.
I
You need to convince the audience that this guy is why you should go see this movie. And that's what I keep hearing about, is how charming he is and how good he is in the role. And they're not showing us any of that.
Well, the audience is going to have to determine that. At the end of the day, you can tell me how charming Rachel Zegler is, but I need to see her on
Fair.
the screen.
Oh, just
But no,
don't
I
bring up
have
her-
seen
don't
actual
bring up her
proof
name
of
right
how
now.
charming he is. I just don't feel like they're getting behind him and pushing him out there like they should be, is my point, I guess.
Well, they spent 40 minutes trying to do it, I guess.
No, they spent 40
No, it was
minutes,
more on
minutes
James Gunn.
sucking James Gunn's dick. They're selling this movie on James
Okay.
Gunn. That's my fucking point. Quit trying to sell this movie on James Gunn and sell the movie on the kid you hired to play Superman.
So really fast. I mean, obviously they're very talented, good-looking people, but he's a big boy towering over Lois Lane's, which is what you want, right?
Yeah.
And he's dashing and all that. So this is this is at the CinemaCon, everyone in the chat.
And she's been charming as hell too in all the interviews I've seen. her in,
Rachel,
so
yeah.
Absolutely, 100%.
If anything, she's selling this movie better than anyone is right now, if you ask me, because she's the one going out there. Yeah, this is about truth, justice, and the American way, and Superman's a classic hero, and blah blah blah. Like, she's the one who's getting out there and saying that kind of stuff.
And I absolutely agree with in regards to that was my big my big thorn in the trailer. This 5 minutes was that I still don't know who Kal-El, who Clark Kent, who Superman is.
Yeah.
I see him in pain, and it looks good and everything. The Fortress of Solitude looked freaking amazing. But maybe they're doing that on purpose. Maybe they're saving it. And then
No,
I
it's
know
where-
I know Nicholas Hoult is going to deliver. I mean, it's an incredible cast.
That's
But
where
I'm
the
like-
mistake was, that this should have been, first of all, should have been a clip of Clark and Lois together so we can see their chemistry.
Yep.
And see her.
Mm.
And then it should have been a scene of him talking to Lex Luthor, whether it's an antagonistic scene or just a scene like, when they first start talking, in the first film, when he realizes that he doesn't have the bomb, when he's like, where's the bomb? And he's like, somewhere in the back of my mind, and they start kind of just talking instead of like being, whatever. Like,
Oh,
you
wait
need
a
a
minute.
scene like that to where you see him as Superman and you see Nicholas as Lex, and you also need a scene where you see Lois and Clark, so you can kind of see the dynamics there. And then I think that would be enough for people to kind of judge a little bit better than what
Some
we're
kind
seeing
of
so far.
fun sequence of him going to the Daily Planet. It's just some
Exactly.
fun music, and you've got all the characters, the hustle and bustle of the paper, and then all of a
they have
sudden
him going
he has
through
to
the
change into
crowd.
Superman. That's what we need.
Or just her.
Or,
That's fine.
Yeah,
That's fine.
I could read her.
Yeah, she's doing a great job. She's the anti-Zegler.
Oh,
Yeah.
Are you just you know what? I've been listening to the stream since it began. I think you're just doing this on purpose now that I got on the stream.
I only mentioned her twice. Did I do
Since
something
I've been
wrong?
on, Chris. I
We
love
did
it.
mention Snow White a couple of times.
Oh,
So it's this one here. This is Leo.
Well, I mean, I'm
and-
just impressed. I'm sad for her that she's the one taking all the blame.
Let me take the Leo one off. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I don't know what we need legal
That-
Who
for.
are you referring to, Chris?
Ms. Zegler.
Well,
It's unrelated. Look, we're going sideways.
No,
Hush. I'm muting myself.
This has a history of putting an individual and hiding behind them, which I have talked about many times.
As a tangential thought, not specifically onto her, but I am curious to see with these big tentpole movies moving forward, especially from Disney, when it comes to red carpet stuff, how much on lockdown the stars will be to try to avoid the problems of the past, and to see like how much they stay on point, whether they're allowed to drift off into personal ideological stuff when they're advertising the movies.
You know the trick to that, Scribe?
What's that?
Don't hire morons.
Well, but Paul, this is Hollywood. What options do
never
you
work.
have?
Well, that's
Yeah.
sort of the point that I'm trying to make. We did an article a few days ago about everybody's throwing Zegler under the bus, but it's Disney's fault. Disney.
I agree.
This girl had public statements going back years, and if they didn't have control of her at the beginning, that she aligned with them ideologically. And the only reason I was thinking about it this morning is somebody on YouTube, I don't know who it was, not somebody in our ecosystem, played all these clips. I mean, even Bill Maher and other people were talking about Zegler being woke. And I thought, she's really, I mean, yeah, maybe she is, but she's not the reason this movie bombed so badly. It's Disney's fault. Disney are the people who made the movie. She didn't.
Are you accusing YouTube of being part of the complainoverse?
No, even Bill
Yeah.
Maher, I mean, he's not YouTube. You know what I'm saying? And he was even.
But I can
bashing her
see
a little
both
bit.
sides of it too. See, here's the thing is, and I'm not giving Disney any leeway on this because you're 100% right. You guys are right. They are the ones to actually blame at the end of the day, because they also went with the whole Peter Dinklage thing. I keep reminding people of that.
Exactly. That's their
And
fault.
Let's
It's
move
their
away.
fault from the
Let's
start.
move on from.
I was going to say, let's get away
Yeah,
from all that.
I'd
because
taken
we
off the
actually-
Superman stuff because
Yeah,
Chris
we're
is
done with Superman for
on
now.
Ziegler's jock.
Let's get on to another thing, because
Jesus.
speaking of Snow White's going to get a run for its money this weekend, and it ain't going to be from Working Man. It's going to be from a video game movie. And I don't know if
Minecraft.
Paulie has seen this yet, but I know
Well, can I
Paul
just
has.
make a note before you go on?
Please, I guess.
Don't mention.
To our audience, I did not bring up Rachel Ziegler today. I did not.
I was defending Rachel.
No.
I was using it as a segue now.
You're ruining
Okay,
the
so
segue.
Snow White has to worry about Jack Black. So Paul, how worried should she be?
That's good.
I got the poster.
Is it the worst
my
movie of the
God.
year, like the critics are saying?
Oh no. It's an interesting movie. It's well, I mean, you know how we talk about, oh, it's not Star Trek anymore, it's not Star Wars anymore. Well, the movie's not Minecraft only because the game is impossible to translate to a movie. I'm more interested in the decisions that they made, but it's badly written. It could have been way better. For instance, as I said earlier, some executive went Super Mario Brothers and Jumanji. That's what I want. And the thing is, Super Mario Brothers is not Citizen Kane, but they stuck the landing and they found what the core of that is. Now, that being said, that game actually has a story, which is Rescue Peach, right? Princess Peach. Minecraft has no story. There is one in there. You can defeat the dragon if you want. You don't have to, but it's a crafting video game. And ironically, and I don't know why they made these decisions, is that the thing that the movie is bereft of is a crafting. Like they have some things where they make weapons and they make a couple of houses and things like that. But there's so many clever things they could have done with the crafting to get away from the bad guys, like digging tunnels and doing stuff. And it was really neat, actually, the little bit of crafting that they ended up doing right from mine. I thought, wow, okay, this is really cool. Maybe, there's a 3-hour version of this movie that they decided to cut down, but it is a lame story. But strangely colorful. Jack Black and Jason
Momoa.
Momoa really worked their asses off on a movie they had no idea what they were acting in. But they worked hard doing it. Like, they did not mail this in. I was really happy with that. And then
Was there enough Jack Black singing?
a little too much at the beginning, but the final song he did,
Yeah,
the denouement song, is actually great.
good.
It's a real kick-ass Jack Black song. The Lava Chicken was hilarious. that was great.
The kids are going to love this movie.
That is my final. That's what I think. The theater was about a third full, and I stopped a whole bunch of people and asked them. So there were some teens who went. It was Minecraft, and it had Minecraft stuff. I'm happy. Full stop. Right? Then I was sitting next to a 10-year-old who clearly plays Minecraft, and I said, "How'd you love the movie? How'd you like the movie?" Loved it. Like, absolutely loved everything about the movie, even though it had nothing to do with the game.
Yeah.
Because he just loves Minecraft, and this is just another piece of the Minecraft world that he inhabits. It didn't have to be Minecraft.
Yeah.
And this thing also, because you've got furry versions of the Minecraft entities, you've got, plush toys to buy. But the story is horrible, and the preamble is horrible, and it could have, in everything in Hollywood, this could have worked so much better, more along the lines of what Imagination Studios do with the Despicable Me, how well those movies are written. There's no reason why this movie couldn't have been that well written. I got a feeling it's just got too many fingers and too many pies. Too many people made decisions about this movie. But and the other characters, forget about them. There's no character building, nothing. They're worthless. Just everybody else's.
Wow.
Is just a second. And I don't like that. As a writer, I'm going, okay, we could have done something with these people. But the big stakes and the antagonist is, they picked the wrong thing. But, Jack worked hard.
Turns out pandas love to party.
So this is the opening bit you were talking about, I guess?
No, the opening bit of how he got into the world is really stupid and unnecessary. And someone made a decision that the audience is not going to understand what the normies are not going to understand what Minecraft is. So we've got to create this intro voiceover piece, which will explain how Steve got into the world of Minecraft, and it's completely unnecessary. Like, you could just chop it right off. You have Momoa find the crystal that gets you in. He goes in, brings everybody else with him, and then Steve kind of tells them what's going on during the process of trying to figure out where they are. I mean, it's useless exposition the way they've got it set up. So somebody got scared. Some executive got scared that no one's going to understand the Minecraft movie unless we have this Blade Runner voiceover opening, and we all know how well that went. It was not
An
necessary.
executive that's never played Minecraft, probably.
You know what? The movie could have been really, really good.
See, when I saw the
right now,
trailer,
it's a colorful acid trip that I think the kids are going to love.
when I saw the trailer, I thought it was going to be something like, and I don't know anything. I've never played Minecraft, I'll admit. I have seen plenty of videos on it. I thought it was going to be something like these people are transported from the real world into this Minecraft world, and then they're dumbfounded by the physics and the logic of this world, but gradually they learn how to take advantage of it and effectively learn how to play the game and defeat the bad guy.
That would have been
Genius.
very much. That's the story.
Yeah.
There's maybe
What the
two
fuck?
scenes like that. That
That's unfortunate.
you are 100% correct that is what needed to be the Minecraft plot.
Yeah, because that's effectively what the game is. It's you learn how to work with it within the boundaries of
And
the game.
the other
And,
part of the game is that it's a built-in quest game, because you have to get 7 different things from 7 different places to build the thing that you want to build. It's a natural quest.
Yeah, you could make it just a problem-solving extravaganza for if and every character like brings in some different thing. Like maybe one guy's a chef and one guy's a construction worker, and then they pool their skills together to make it all.
You should have been the fucking writer on this movie. Because that's
Honestly, we should be the writer on most of these things, Paul.
That's
Yeah.
exactly what it should have been.
Well,
That's exactly. I should have added that to my review. But you're right. You know, the two women in it just end up being, fighters. They start fighting people. They don't craft really anything to. I mean, there's a moment of crafting and stuff like that, but it's I'm going to make a weapon. It's not, here's a situation. How do I get out of it? I'm going to have to craft this weapon. So then you go and do it to get out of the situation. Nothing is motivated. It's a and then movie instead of a because movie.
Well, it made over 10 million last night.
Did it? Well, like I said, the crowd I was with loved it, but it's just a nice big furry plush toy with a ton of Minecraft Easter eggs in it. If you're a Minecraft fan and you're 10 years old, you are going to love this movie.
It's like printing money. I mean, come on, they're going to do okay.
I
don't think it'll do Super Mario Brothers money.
People applauded at the end of the movie, but I can guess why.
Yeah. Good for them. That will be the number one movie this weekend.
Oh, there's no question. Now, the other thing is this movie is hip enough is that there's a quick visual of a pig with a crown. So those of you not in the Minecraft realm, anyone in the Minecraft realm, do you know what that means?
Mm-mm.
That was that they were honoring Technoblade, who was a huge Minecraft YouTuber who died in 2022.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
So he is super important to the community emotionally.
Wow.
And they had this one brief picture
Nice.
of the pig with the crown.
Sounds like it's chock full of Easter eggs, man.
Oh no, the Minecraft people who have let themselves out of their darkened bedrooms and taking a break from carpal tunnel are just going to love this. And I think, to tell you the truth, young kids who don't know what proper writing is are going to be absolutely fine with the plot and the story here.
Wow. Is there much plot to the game? I think they're just looking for.
No, there's none. But
like, let's go on an Easter egg hunt. Here's the Easter egg hunt in the center.
They didn't do that. There's none of that.
Yeah. Okay.
They're going for the orb. That's it. It's like the worst stupid.
No. I mean, the cinema goers are on the Easter egg hunt. Look for all the cool references that you know. That's it.
There's lots, including at the very end, there's a reference to Alex, which I won't tell you what that means, but that is also,
okay. Yeah. Fans will love it.
Oh,
And what is that? 60% of people it's kind of like we were talking earlier about the James Gunn movie with the dogs. 60 something percent of people own dogs. So you're leaning into dog ownership, right? A little bit there.
Well, this is right in line with Five Nights at Freddy's. Five Nights at Freddy's did 10.3 million in its preview night. Its opening was 80 million at the box office. Unless the competition actually knocks it out in the next few weeks, the movie could end up doing 300-400 million.
You're talking about Minecraft?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, because
Absolutely.
it's right in line with Five Nights at Freddy's. So
Right.
Well,
And this
like
is
I said, the audience applauded.
this is a bigger nightmare for Disney Snow White.
the only thing that Five Nights
Or
at Freddy's had differently going for it is I believe they dropped it on streaming at the exact same time.
What's
So
that
it
again?
could have
Tom?
done bigger.
What movie?
Five Nights at Freddy's.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So they could have made probably twice that, but they ended up dropping it on Peacock at the same time.
They messed up on that one, but
Wonder how many new subscriptions Peacock got for that decision.
I heard they did very well from that Halloween 2018 Five Nights at Freddy's thing. But,
Okay. All right.
that was 2018-19. This is now or whatever.
It's too bad the movie it could have
2020 or
been
whatever it
really
was.
much better.
Yeah.
To me, I just go, wow, what a lost opportunity.
that's like almost every film I see nowadays coming out of Hollywood.
How do we
Major
think this is
studios.
going to perform outside the U.S.? I mean, is Minecraft
Well, I already
really big outside
I already
the U.S.?
just sent you. Did you
China.
see the
Oh,
private
it's
channel?
huge. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's why I was setting you up, my friend.
Oh,
Oh, see, nobody
I'm
sees
sorry,
this
man. Let me
behind the
shut up.
scenes stuff. BTS.
I'm gonna shut up, bro.
No, you're supposed to tell us. Well, how is it doing, Paulie?
Well, Tom,
And now Polly with the weather.
We're going to do
Minecraft
some
movie became a
improvisational comedy.
Minecraft is a film that finally took over Niza 2, which is the huge
Right.
global animated film, which I saw. I liked a lot. In China, the China box office after the film starring Momoa and Black grossed a solid 6.5 million on Friday opening day over
Jeez.
87,000 screenings. It is, and that is 6.5. They're comparing it to Deadpool from 8.6 last year. Word of mouth seems positive. Ticket buyers giving it a solid 9.1
Wow.
on that's the Chinese one, equivalent to
That's
Cinema
pretty
Score.
good for China. Wow. So this is going to play very
It's-
well outside the U.S., it sounds like.
Minecraft is a huge game in China.
I mean, besides China, do you think is Jack Black and Momoa big in China?
I think at least Momoa is probably more so than Jack Black, but maybe Jack Black is more well known.
Kung Fu Panda did not do good in China.
Well,
I don't know.
you can't hear his voice in that. It's
Okay.
somebody else's voice, most likely.
It's
But I
Minecraft.
imagine things like School of Rock and a few other things have done well enough. That
Well,
he's-
don't you think the IP alone will supersede any concerns over the star
That's
power?
my point. That's what I was
Yeah.
getting at with Five Nights at Freddy's. And as soon as I saw they had the
Mhm.
same exact preview
I mean,
night, I'm like,
the
yeah.
thing that you guys don't understand about Minecraft is
Oh.
a group of Redstone experts. I don't know if you know what Redstone is in Minecraft, but it's the power conduit. It's what powers things. Is that a couple of guys actually built components out of Minecraft to create a computer chip, a graphics chip, and then a computer screen, and you can play Minecraft within Minecraft.
That's meta as fuck.
It's
Metacraft.
Metacraft. This is the insanity of the community. I have in my video, they have about 190 million concurrent users per month playing the game.
I
That-
underestimated this film.
190 million people every month is playing this game somewhere around the world.
I mean, I remember this being a thing like seriously like 10 years ago.
Oh, yeah, but it's never stopped.
I guess not. I really guess not. I mean, it's not. It's a lot bigger than I thought it would be.
Well,
So good
because
for them.
it's very much. I was talking about it with my son last night. This is like Flight Simulator.
Right.
No one here knows or plays Microsoft Flight Simulator, but it's a huge game to a really narrow group of rabid individuals, which number quite a lot, but you don't hear about them. Minecraft is very similar. 10-year-old boys love Minecraft. So I'd rather
Evidently, they still do. I mean, I knew they did back in the day because I mean, I remember, like my
Oh, yeah.
kid playing it, and my girlfriend's kids at the time playing it. Like I remember the one that I was most impressed with and I thought was clever was the youngest boy, because a lot of the kids, they would just sit there and watch other kids play Minecraft, and I'm like, how is that? Like, what the hell are you doing? Well, at least what he would do is he'd have the video playing on one screen, and then he'd be playing the game on the other screen, building what the kid is showing you how to build. And I'm like, well, at least he's over there building the thing. You guys are just sitting there watching him do nothing and fuck all, basically. Like, yeah. But it's bigger and still a thing. I didn't think it would last that long. So,
Hey,
Yeah,
I like
Jason
to sit around and
Momoa is
watch
great.
people playing Dragon's Lair. I would watch something like that. I never could get very far. So.
Jason is great in this.
Okay.
He just went for it as the loser, former video game god when he was young, and just never stopped. He never changed. Basically, he never grew up. Started a shop of that sold classic consoles. Unfortunately, nobody else wants to buy them.
Well, going back to so bad script, the whole thing, right? But you had so I think the Jack Black and Momoa, they've endeared themselves
Yes.
to an audience, and it sounds like from what you're saying that is all over this film, which my point is audiences are very forgiving when you like the stars.
And you know what? They give the movie heart. It's
There you go.
super positive, nice, lightness. You are rooting for these two guys.
Nice.
And I
You could
guess
say
the
the
other
same thing with
advantage-
Statham too, with the working man.
Yeah.
I was going to say the other advantage too, I suppose, is that since if you get the aesthetic of Minecraft correct and you get the references correct, there's no canon to break because it doesn't have canon. It doesn't have a story per se, except for like the really deep-seated stuff and the mechanics of the thing. So I guess that's to its advantage.
Well,
You
they
can't
threw
piss off the fans.
They threw the look of Minecraft pretty much out.
Okay. Yeah, because everything looked really fuzzy.
Yeah,
It didn't
it
look like blocky. It looked, yeah.
Yeah, I
real
mean,
things.
as a purist, I think the movie would actually have been funnier if they kept it looking like Minecraft.
Pixelated and everything.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think there's a certain aesthetic, but I got a feeling that somebody in the toy department said, "Nope, we got to make plushies." So again, this is what I'm interested in my review. I talked about who made what decision. Did someone from the toy division said, "No, I can't sell these, change them," and then the movie gets changed because of that. Paulie will confirm that there's pressure from all sorts of different places to make a movie product, and you're going to get weird decisions just because someone's secretary said something. It's a weird business.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Momoa, it's Jack Black, it's Minecraft. It's absolutely. And I was just typing in the to Six and to them in the chat is that this is what Disney was praying that they could get. Even though it's a bad script, it's a bad thing. But hey, the audiences have endeared themselves to SW. Didn't happen. It's not going to happen. It looks like Minecraft is going to get this for the next few.
And the other thing I'll say about Minecraft, I mean, I'm being professionally cruel, is that at no time did I feel worn out the same way I did with Mickey 17. Like it's a thing. This Minecraft is going to be, if the DVD business still existed, this would be monstrous on DVD. And at least it was, I didn't mind watching this movie. That's why it's getting kind of a 50-50 split on Rotten Tomatoes from the reviewers. I think that's fair.
I think I would say after seeing its preview now, I will eat crow. It's a lot more popular than I thought it would be, and good for them. It's going to do well.
I gave it a normie score of 3 out of 10 and a Minecraft nerd score of 8 out of 10.
Wow.
There you go.
So
Wait a minute. Okay.
Normie versus Minecraft nerd.
No, I
But
see
the
what
kids are
Paul's
going to love
saying.
it. The
Yeah.
kids,
Yeah,
the
the
families
kids
are
are
going to
gonna
go.
love it.
Kids, families.
The families will feel like their kids got their money's worth
Yep.
out of it, or whatever you want to call it. And
I can't
because they're
wait
going
to
to
see
have
the
to
breakdown.
go pick up a goddamn Happy Meal on the way home, and
Maybe you can drop the kids over in this theater and go see the Alto Kings. Could we do a Barbenheimer?
Yeah. Alto Nights.
Working
Alpo
Man.
Nights.
Alto Nights. Thank
I will
you.
not
Yeah.
see that movie.
Yeah.
Alpo Nights.
Alpo.
Alto Nights. That's your Superman. Nah, never mind. Crypto.
I'm going to go see Alto Mints.
I can't wait for the breakdowns as far as the numbers with Minecraft after this weekend.
yeah. Well, Mikey did not like the Superman trailer. He says,
Gee, I
"This trailer
wonder
sucks."
why.
And the only time I screamed when I was at the spa, I was in Vegas at the Poolside Cabana and screamed during the one heck of a happy ending. LOL.
Hello.
Yeah, and I said, you don't count because you're a Snyder bro.
Correct.
and,
Correct.
Hyperguyver 2 says, beware the pink kryptonite. Yes. AF Watcher says, good news, Devil May Cry is fire. Well, at least you enjoyed it, I guess. Soil Nightmare sends in 5 and says, pics of Superman merch have leaked. Everything from Funko to McFarlane and figures to statues across multiple brands is coming. Well, I'll have
Spoiler
to check out some
alert.
of that. Yeah.
It's
My mom
already
says
merchandise already
Merchandising.
selling.
I mean, come on.
It's already selling.
Yeah.
There's
Already
also
on.
comic books for Superman. I don't know if you guys
What?
knew that.
Oh,
Yeah, I swear.
Comic books.
Oh yeah,
They did comic books already.
Holy
of Superman?
cats.
sheets, bed
Jeez.
sheets. I mean, you can get it all.
the
Really milking
mom, the mom saw Minecraft last night, and here you go. Here's somebody who's probably a
Ooh.
fan of the franchise. Gave it a 6.5 out of 10. That kind of moves right close to what Paul was saying. I think he's probably right. The general audience is probably going to be just fine with this movie. And then Peter Venkman sends me £6. Oh, she weighs a hell of a lot more than 6 pounds for Sadie stepping on my balls. Yeah, it happens from time to time.
What?
I don't want a 6-pound weight on mine. That's for
Do you know
sure.
how she
Sure.
jumps up on shit? You know who's worse
Oh.
than Sadie actually is the fucking cat. That's why I think it's funny you said that, Scribe, because that motherfucker will pounce on me from anywhere, and he goes like full bore on my belly.
Oh
and
yeah.
knocks the
No,
wind
if
out
it
of me.
was Crypto the Super Cat, I wouldn't at all be.
You know what would
surprised
be
by
more
that.
Sadie
realistic?
does it too, but yeah.
Well, the thing is that dogs don't do it on purpose. What it is that like
No, she
our-
thinks she's
our
tiny.
Our
Yeah.
bull terrier will when she was still alive, she would hop onto the couch and crawl up, to me, but invariably always stuck her foot into the sack, like on her way up. I mean, it just happens, right? Or the worst thing is that they're on your body and they're on the chest and they're relaxing, enjoying, and then suddenly something startles them, and then they just slam their paw right into the sack, and you're going
Well, then they push off of you. And you
Yes.
fully relax.
yeah,
Like,
And,
oh,
you know-
you're hurt. I'll get off you, and then they push and hurt you even more.
yeah.
No, but Sadie's huge. That's the thing. She thinks she's tiny. She thinks she's like this little lab dog, and it's like, no, Sadie, you
Mhm.
don't fit on my lap. Like,
And the big one and the little ones think they're big because they act big. They get that-
exactly. Oh yeah. Then you have the opposite effect with the small ones. You're right. And
Yeah.
then the sad part is when Sadie gets all jealous because the cat will be on my lap, and she's like, "That's bullshit." You can tell that's what she's thinking too. She's like, "I can't be up there. Why can't he? He gets to be up there. That's bullshit." She just pouting.
I watched the trailer yesterday, that footage with a bandit next to my side. He fell asleep.
Oh shit. Well, Scribe needs to leave us now. So I'm gonna give him an out, and we're getting close to wrapping it up. Anyhow, I think we've talked most of the things we were going to talk about, didn't we? Did we miss anything? I don't think so. Somebody remind me if we missed anything. But in the meantime, Scribe, go ahead and plug your wares.
Well, yeah. So about 2 hours from now, almost exactly 2 hours from now, at 12:30 Pacific, 3:30 Eastern, will be the next episode of DEI Death Watch. I got some news stories. I got an individual that I've covered a couple of times on my channel. She's the NBA's DEI star. No more. Interesting story. I'm sure it'll be because she's an interesting lady. And as well, all
Who is that?
public school.
Who is that?
Her
Louise?
name is Leslie Slayton Brown. She was the chief executive officer for HP for several years, and then she moved on to be the executive officer for the NBA writ large. And she just relatively recently did a big interview talking about all the extolling the virtues of DEI in the NBA. And now apparently she no longer has a job there. So I don't know exactly what the circumstances were. We'll find out later. And then public schools in the country have 10 days to cleanse themselves of these things, or they all lose federal funding. Yeah, which is an interesting little...
How does the NBA have DEI? I thought it was
Oh, Chris.
merit based.
No, Chris.
You're talking about management.
Well, yeah, no, we're talking mostly back office. Like 9 times out of 10, when they're talking about DEI, they're not talking
Not
about
on
the
the
team
court.
so much. No, they're talking about staffing. They're talking about scouting and reps and the back office stuff mostly. That was the reference there mostly for that stuff. Because in basketball, it really does come down to how many points can you actually score. I imagine that
And
a
height
merit-based
advantage. A lot
and
of
height
times.
advantage. Yeah. But anyway, so that'll be in about 2 hours.
Cool.
And also, just another quick plug. I did a sort of a rant review of the Adolescence series. That's been getting some good traction. And I had an interesting Twitter exchange today where somebody saw that I was sort of plugging it on a different thread. And I said that it was 4 hours of garbage. And it's like, no, it wasn't. It was one of the best made British films ever. And whatever, and the context you've given it isn't correct. And I said, what context did I give it? I assume it was something about race. Like, oh, well, I never mentioned race. So you never watched this. So maybe you should. And listen to what I actually have to say first. It was interesting. But anyway. So
I love robot fighting, don't you?
Oh yeah, it's great. Rock'em Sock'em Robots. But
Everybody
otherwise,
is
everybody,
robot fighting.
everyone was
everybody was
robot.
robot
Fight. Speaking, did anybody else recognize the voice that was doing the male robot in the Superman teaser? I caught it immediately because I'm a nerd.
James Gunn.
Now, Alan Tudyk, who of course is the voice of everybody else in Rogue One and so on. So I'm happy to be corrected if I'm wrong. I didn't look it up, but I'm pretty sure that was Alan Tudyk. Can't say who the female robot was. Wasn't sure about that. Anyway, Tom, Polly, Chris, and Paul, have a good rest of your weekend and Friday. Everybody in the chat, have a good weekend, and I'll see you all in a couple hours, hopefully.
See you, buddy.
Oh boy, I got fireworks. Oh well, thumbs up, fireworks. That's great. Bye, guys.
See you, pal.
Take care. All right, and with that, I think we're going to be wrapping it up here.
No Jean-Claude Van Damme news?
Oh well, do we want to get into that? And
Not really. I'm joking.
Well, here's the thing with that. It's like there's that, and then we just had the Russell Brand news.
Yes, I saw that.
What were you going to say, Paulie?
I'd like to bring up one of them days in comedies in a minute. You know, if we can before we head.
Keke Palmer.
I know, but you guys were talking about comedies, the death of comedies. It was a great conversation.
Yeah.
And so if we can talk about that, that would be cool.
So you saw it, or what did you want to say about it? Go ahead.
Oh, well, first of all, to Chris and Paul, have you seen the comedy One of Them Days?
I don't think
Okay,
so. No. That's the new one, right?
It's still it's now I think for the past 2 weeks it's been on Netflix.
Okay.
But what the theater
Rent
or
money
the,
comedy.
I heard about this. Yeah, the trailer looked fantastic.
Yeah, the one about the rent money. The girls are trying to get the rent money. Is that?
Yeah, that's the whole setup. And Paul earlier was talking about, you know, these setups of comedies that aren't parodies. We just need like, you know, good setups. And
right.
Basically, they lose all their rent money on rent day, and it's them trying to figure out how to pay the rent.
Yeah,
and it's a little wrong. It's not PC. There's no message. There's this one message that Cat Williams, the comedian, he plays kind of a vagabond, where he's telling black people do not go into Speedy Cash.
Right.
Yes, he's hilarious.
Yes, 56% interest.
So One of Them Days, it's been out for months. It just crossed 50 million on a $15 million budget. What's interesting is that they actually put it back in more theaters this past week, like 600 theaters, and it hit it like, wow, because it's been on Netflix. I've seen it 3 times. I know people have problems with Keke Palmer. I thought she was hilarious. The whole movie's hilarious.
What's the problem with Keke Palmer?
She's the one who tried to get Bill Murray canceled.
Oh, okay.
And she's the one who basically got that whole movie basically shut down because of that. What's his face? It was his first directing.
Anson, or the Indian guy.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of his name now.
Well, I mean, if she's good in this, she's good in this.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's just a stupid personal thing with me. That's all it is.
Hey, I don't like the jokes that James Gunn has been known to tell. I can still enjoy his movies. So this is funny. This is worth it. Is this like good like Friday or something? Is
correct? It's like a female Friday.
Okay.
Speaking of Friday, we're finally getting Last Friday. Did you guys hear?
Oh, really?
Warner Bros. Made a deal with Ice Cube finally.
Because of the success, Paul, I think we need more comedies.
Yes.
Of that nature, because there's nothing woke about it. They make fun of themselves. They make, and
the slapstick in the trailer looked great. I mean, I forgot about the movie because it kind of disappeared. But thank you for telling me. I'm going to watch it. Thank you.
It's still on streaming, right?
It's not. That's the funny part, is that it's been on Netflix now last couple of weeks. So it'd be great to see if Hollywood can do more of these with I would love like a Jack Black type of wrong comedy,
Sure. I enjoyed his comedy where he was the sad sack guy, and the woman was Gwyneth Paltrow. It was the
yes, where he ran into the
Shallow Hal.
Shallow Hal. Yeah,
Thank you,
I know a lot of
Ramon.
people didn't like that movie. I thought it was hilarious.
I thought it was really well done. I
He
thought it
met
was
Tony
good.
Robbins or something that kind of
Yeah,
put the hoodoo on him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
That
thought
was
it was a good movie.
Yeah, it was.
The thing is, you can be making fun of stuff. I wrote a script about an old folks' home
Shallow
where
Hal,
three
yeah.
people cannot pay the $10,000 a month rent, but they accidentally kill an old person because they're arguing with each other. And the the guy who is in charge of bringing people, admitting them, says that since there's a huge a year-long waiting list to get people in, he actually takes money under the table from rich people, but he can only do that if they reduce the number of people in the old folks home. So he says, if you agree to target and kill old folks to make space, so I can get the the money from to jump the queue money, then you guys can stay rent free.
It's like Rest Home of Horror.
That's what they do. It's Murder Incorporated. These three people will kill some old person whenever the owner
What's
of
the retirement plan? Is that the name of it?
Yeah, no, it's actually the place is called Wuthering Heights, but everyone there calls it Withering Heights.
Withering Heights. Okay.
Oh, there
Anyway.
you go. Actually, that sounds like a good show for Hulu.
Yeah, it would
Are
be.
you
It would be
listening,
a great
Hulu?
show. Very, very funny premise. So you see,
And
you can
then-
do funny things.
Then Dark Hierophant sends in a $5 super chat, says John Carpenter got his star in Hollywood Boulevard. Awesome. I posted pics on Eric July's page because he had a Rippaverse hate.
Hat.
Oh, hat.
Yeah, actually, it wasn't John Carpenter wearing
No, it
the
was-
Rippaverse. It was Slash.
It was Slash.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
And he
I
was wearing it backwards because of his
Yeah.
hair.
Correct me if we're wrong, Dark, but I'm sure that's Slash you're talking about.
The
Slash
guitarist?
Yeah,
Yeah.
from
Guns N' Roses?
And he
Yeah.
wore it
No
back like
shit.
this. Yeah, he wore it back
No
like
shit.
this.
He was wearing a Rippaverse hat, huh?
Yeah.
It did not look what do you call it, doctor? Like they put the Ripper logo
Like
on there.
fake. No, it didn't look fake. It wasn't
No.
fake.
Looked
If it
legit.
was, it was the best fake I've seen in a long time.
Wow, that's pretty
Right.
cool.
I mean, and what? Who knows? Slash is probably watching right now.
I
Does-
doubt Slash is watching us.
I don't know. He
Well-
loves that intro, Tom.
I think I mean the
might.
logo is pretty rocker as far as Ripperverse. I'm wondering if
Yeah.
Slash even knows what he's
I mean,
wearing.
I got pictures of Slash. I'm trying to find the one he was talking
Well,
about.
and Ripa, he's got his own heavy band too. I mean, before he ever did comics at all,
That's
he was
true. That's
That's
true.
true.
doing music. So he's in those circles.
That is
Huh?
true. So
Maybe.
yeah.
As long as he's not in the lap band.
I hope not. Maybe lap dance, but not lap band.
Hey, we need to get going. I need to get going.
We do.
Oh
we
yeah.
do.
Well, yeah. Let's wrap it up. I'm sorry,
All right. Well, thank you for being here, guys. Chris, what do you want to plug on your way out?
man. I just want everybody to have a great weekend. That's all I want to plug. Check out bleedingfull.com for some laughs and some news to the right of center. And we've got a review for Minecraft going up today too at 4:20. No
Mm.
particular reason for that time, but
Mm.
that is what time it will go live. And this weekend we got some stories we're doing, and I want to connect with Paulie after this stream behind the scene for a minute so I can chat with you quickly. But other than
Yep.
that, I've got nothing.
All right,
do
Paul.
it.
What about you?
Check out my Minecraft review. It's brilliant. On Call Me
All
Chato.
right.
If you want to know if Paulie liked it or not, check out his review.
All right. Paulie?
I'm not going to be watching Minecraft this week. But yeah, I'm live later on at 3 p.m. Pacific.
All right.
We're going to be going breaking down CinemaCon. Daredevil series is about to end, and then we have some great giveaways from the artist Jinja Ninja, who autographed some artwork for me at WonderCon. So I'll be giving those away as well. Thank you everyone in the chat, and thanks Tom.
I loved your WonderCon coverage, Paulie. You're brilliant.
We had fun. Thanks, brother.
Awesome sauce. All right. Well, I was going to have Yellow Flash. You just got the message. I sent this to you a bit ago to come and talk some Nintendo news, but if you want to pop in, you still can. Otherwise, we'll just wrap it up, and we'll probably talk about it tomorrow, I'm sure, on Flashcast anyway. So we need to get you back on a Flashcast, Paul. It's been a while. Anyhow, let's wrap this up. Take care of yourselves and each other, and see you next time. Peace. Paul's making it rain confettis.
Oh man, we are special.
Koalas in the rain, koalas in the rain. No fucks given. Koalas in the rain.